Have you ever reacted in a way which even surprised you? Where you shut down even when you wanted to speak more? Where someone said something small but it felt so huge? That's not usually the present moment, that's your past speaking. Hi, I'm Kanika, an NLP coach, and I facilitate one to one transformation sessions for people to become the better version of themselves. So, this video is for people who are intelligent, self aware, and trying their best, but still feel triggered in relationships, conflicts, or decision making. And very often we call it overreacting, but it is an unhealed childhood pattern that is replaying itself now. So, while growing up, if you were the one who was the mature one, did not create conflicts just by the fear that other people will find it harder to deal with things, and you learnt along the way that your needs come second. You did not express your hurt so that people don't find it harder, and you quietly handled things on your own. So, as a child, let me tell you, you became more adaptive. But as an adult, the same pattern can show up as overfunctioning. So now you feel responsible for other people's feelings and you struggle to ask for help and you take on too much on your own self. And somewhere deep down, you feel unseen. Well, this is not the personality, this is the conditioning that you have been doing to your brain and your nervous system. Let's go into our childhood to learn something about it. So, if you were praised for being good, being quiet, for achieving, or for being agreeable, your childhood brain learned something very powerful. Let me tell you, as a child, our primary focus is the connection. So your brain learned that connection comes by performing. You have to perform in order to feel connected to your adults, caregivers, guardians, parents, or siblings for that matter. Since your childhood brain learned something powerful and the patterns have been created, it carries them in the adulthood life. You fear disappointing people. You say yes when you want to say no. You over explain your decisions and you feel anxious when someone is upset by you. Now your body sees that disapproval of others as danger. It constantly scans for it, and whenever it wants to do something different, that fear comes up and you over explain or it just get into exhaustion and those patterns keep repeating. Another aspect of it might be if, as a child, you lived in environments where the conflict felt louder, unpredictable, unsafe, and emotionally exhaustive. Now your body wants to reject it. It avoids it at all the cost. So you keep doing the same things which might be pleasing to others, but at your own cost of peace, sanity, and self confidence. So now you shut down when someone gives you the feedback or provides you the disapproval, expresses their own disappointment, or even raises their voice. See, now it is very deep, it is in the cellular memory. There are neural pathways which have already defined disagreement as a threat. The hardest part about childhood patterns is that you grow up, but the emotional wiring still remains the same until you work on it. That's the reason, even if you are capable and independent today, you feel small around certain people or certain conversations. That's because these patterns not only operate at the level of thoughts, but at the level of neurologically, biochemically, and physiologically. You can say at your nervous system level as well. This is the part where I ask you a reflective question again. So tell me in the comments, who do you have to be or what kind of mask you had to put as a child in order to feel safe and loved? The options are the peacemaker, the invisible one, the strong one, or the responsible one. Let me know in the comments, and also tell me, are you still that version, or you have changed your patterns, or you are still working on these patterns? If you resonated with this video, then let me tell you, you are not overreacting or being too sensitive. You are just conditioned or patterned. These are the patterns that have been running on autopilot for you. These are not the permanent identities, these are learned behaviors, the responses that you have trained to perform. The moment you recognize your patterns is when you are actually stepping out of it, because then you try to come out of it and change your behavior for good. Healing does not mean that you start blaming your childhood. It happens when you start understanding it. It also means realizing the coping patterns that were once helping you are now limiting you. And instead of shaming yourself for reacting, you now start to get curious that which part of you feels unsafe and how can you sit with it. If you ever wondered why certain situations trigger you more than they should, this might be your answer. It's not because you are broken, but because you have been conditioned and you have adapted. And let me tell you that your conditioning and adaptation can be updated as a software. You just need the right person, mentor, or guide who has walked this path before you and now can take you along this journey towards healing. And if you want more conversations around emotional healing, rewiring patterns, recognizing the patterns, please subscribe this channel and I'll see you in the next one.